Hey everyone, this is Justin Varnes, the IDP analyst at fantasyguru.com. I wanted to take a few minutes here and highlight the different sections of the site that are IDP relevant. So it'll be easy to kind of see what we've got, how much content we're producing on the defensive side of the ball, and also what are some kind of customizable things for you guys for your different leagues. So we're going to start over here where this little championship cup is, and that's our My Guru section. Now here's where you can import your league and your own specific scoring systems. If you're like me, you play in a ton of different IDP leagues, and they all have their own quirky set of scoring, and which means every single league, a particular player is going to be a little more or less valuable. So we've made it about as easy as can be that you can enter your league ID. This is MFL, Yahoo, ESPN. It almost doesn't matter. You can input your league ID, and then all of the information will get drawn in. You'll be able to see you'll be able to match our projections with your actual scoring system. You'll actually see how you're projected against your opponent. If one of your players gets injured, the site will know about it, etc. There's another cool feature about this My Guru section that we're going to get into a little bit later. But this is probably, in terms of season long, this is probably where you're going to be getting the most value, is this little section right here. But obviously projections, that's a big one. So this little tab right here, we can go here. You can actually see specifically IDP in terms of tackles, etc., across the different position designations. You can see how they've fared over the last couple of years. And then obviously we have the projections here for season long and weekly. So we're going to click on the season long here for a second. Now this is obviously for all platforms, right? But we've got several different IDP designations here. We've added the Edge designation this year. That's a new one because as Edge leagues become more and more popular, we now have the ability to actually put players right next to each other. And this also helps if you play in a league or you play in multiple leagues, and maybe Vic Beasley is a defensive lineman in one league and a linebacker in the other. Sometimes it's nice to actually see all those outside linebackers and edge rushing defensive linemen right next to each other in projections. And then obviously defensive lineman, linebacker, DL. Matter of fact, let's take a quick peek at that edge position real quick. So here is where our profiles are. We've got all the, show you kind of across the board what we're looking at. Comments, etc. And obviously this is season long, and then every week we will do weekly ones. So this is projections and statistics. The other thing we want you to be able to focus on are the articles. Every week we're producing multiple articles to kind of help you get set. We're obviously, this is a preseason, so we're spending a ton of time on preseason stuff. But if you go to the articles section, you can scroll down right about the middle. There's an IDP and kick returners section. And here you're going to find all articles by myself and Tom Simons, who is kind of the head of the projections area of the IDP. He also helps with special teams and kick returners. So here we've got a ton of content. This is all so far just for preseason. There's 4, 8, 12, 14 so far. We got 14 preseason articles dedicated to IDP, and we got a bunch more coming. But let's take a look at what like a regular week would look like. So we're going to skip back. We're going to skip week 17 and week 16. So here is week 15. This is what an average week looks like on our site for IDP. The IDP preview, this gets us started at the very beginning. Or sorry, I'm working backwards. This is right before kickoff, or the day or so before kickoff. We're going to be able to spot which IDPs are out or are doubtful, so we can make sure we've got them out of our lineups, or obviously we're going to watch very carefully here. And then I break down what I think are, solid plays we feel strongly about, some players that have a little bit more value than we think. And then finally, some players that this might be a bad week for them. It could be matchup related, could be stadium related, etc. So now if we go back, next thing we're going to hit is, where is it? Oh, I got to go all the way back. So I'm going to go back. We're going to go back to week 15. There we go. This is, I do a special thing. It's nice to take The Thursday night game, we actually get pretty detail oriented here. It's kind of a nice way to start the fantasy week off, is being able to feel like you already have a win for that Thursday night game. So we get real specific in terms of matchups to watch, particular players we're considering, particular players that it might not be a great week for. So there's that. We're going to go back and I'm going to show you waiver wire stuff as well. That's an important one. So we're producing at least 4 to 5 articles every single week to help you. Here's also the tackle report. That's where we're breaking down stadiums and how their home tackle crew might affect you. And same thing here, where we're going to highlight matchups as well. If there are certain weeks where a player is going to go into a stadium that's got a really good tackle crew, then they're going to get a little boost in their tackle production. We're going to want to highlight that. Kick returners as well. And then the waiver wire, which comes out very early in the week, where we kind of go through. And this one, the feature I'm about to mention is actually in all of the different sections of the site, both offensive and defensive. But what I want you to notice is how each person's name is basically in blue here, right? So during the season, what happens is these are color coded. So if you own the player, it'll be a certain color. If the player is available, and this is really where it really matters here for the waiver wire. If let's say Levante David is available on your waiver wire in any of your leagues using this My Guru tool, well, then they're going to pop out from the page so you can see who is available for you. Now, I do want to get into how we do the waiver wire. We actually break it up into 3 sections. The first section is shallow leagues. So only 1 or 2 or 3, maybe you only play 1 flex defensive spot. Maybe you play 1 per position. So in that case, somebody like Levante David actually might be available. You see why I list out the Yahoo and the ESPN availability, because it's a super shallow league. Now we get into the full leagues, and these are leagues where we're obviously playing more like 2 to 3 IDPs at each designation. And so now we have to dig a little bit deeper on some people, maybe who 93% available, etc. And then we get into deep leagues. These are full IDP rosters of 11, 12 people. Now we have to really dig deep and find some people that during this, Matt Milano was 100% available in some of the more popular leagues. So we do break it down because, again, if you're like me, you play in multiple leagues. Some are very thin, some are 11 deep. So anyway, this is just a quick rundown of all the different areas where we have IDP content, what you should expect in a given week in terms of where you can get your content and the timing of it, and also a brief tutorial on how to use that My Guru tool to your advantage. It's going to help you when it comes to the waiver wire. It's going to help you with your own matchups. It's going to help you with injuries, etc. So hopefully this gives you a better idea of the landscape when it comes to IDP on the fantasyguru.com site.